intersection, Route 7.
The Toto team crosses into Texas and gets set for intercept.
Lance, you need to get both Nestle 2 cameras out of the silver case back there.
Okay, we're a couple of miles for the intersection at 79 and 70.
Okay, Roger, we're crossing the Red River.
Okay, we're right behind you, 200 yards.
Howie's team is moving for the clear air at the rear of the storm, the best place to see a tornado if it forms. But to get there, they must travel through a curtain of rain and hail.
You're coming to downtown Wichita Falls. Fine 281
Even with
south.
the uncertainties of forecasting severe weather, the teams are within minutes of the largest storm in the watch area.
What about taking 287 southeast?
But there is no guarantee that it will produce a tornado.
See what I'm looking at here?
Yeah.
In the clear air behind the storm, Howie's team searches for signs of rotation, the mesocyclone that may produce a tornado.
If one were to form, it would form somewhere over there about 3 miles away.
But the right ingredients have just not materialized.
Yeah, I get out.
Several miles away, right underneath the storm, Lou and Lance are in position to deploy Toto. Whether or not a tornado appears, they risk encountering the greatest danger to storm chasers, deadly lightning.
If it's going to do anything, which I'm not so sure it's going to, it's about 30 to 40 minutes away. So we need to position ourselves 30 to 40 minutes from now. And I would guess, it looks to me like it's almost...
With the team still in Wichita Falls, radar at the lab picks up strong storms near Oklahoma City. The information is transmitted to the Weather Service, which issues a tornado warning. Radio and TV stations alert the public.
Southeastern and eastern sections of Oklahoma County, also hail. Goodness gracious, would you look at that? You're looking live from our tower camera.
Between 8 and 9 p.m., 3 tornadoes were sighted. One tore through a trailer park, but no one was killed. For the chasers, the day has been a frustrating one, but not unusual considering they only see 4 or 5 tornadoes in an average season.
It's very difficult to observe severe thunderstorms. So you need to go out for many years and make many observations and look at the various types of phenomena which can actually occur in nature. So it requires an incredible amount of hard work, perseverance, and it does get very frustrating.
As the chase teams face a long drive home, their real work is just beginning. Back at the lab, they'll study the conditions that produce tornadoes in Oklahoma, but fail to in Texas.
We think we understand and we predict pretty well the large-scale weather, the movement of large weather systems across our country. And we understand some of the mesoscale weather, a smaller scale, the size of the watches that we issue for tornadoes, maybe part of the state of Oklahoma. We know severe storms will be in western Oklahoma today. We're able to predict that in advance, but it's very hard for us to predict where a tornado will be exactly, which square mile of ground it might affect later today. That micro-scale information, we're going to have to learn more and do a lot of development, increase our skill as scientists to understand those details.
As the scientists move closer to their goal of predicting severe weather on the local scale, real-world forecasters still face a monumental problem. The Weather Service is set up not to see the details, but to monitor the enormous volume of atmosphere across our country's landscape. The weather stations they rely on are simply too far apart. At the Severe Storms Forecast Center, satellite data and new computer systems are helping to fill the gaps. And the accuracy of tornado watches, the first step in alerting the public, has improved. But there's still a long way to go. The problem of such large-scale predictions was underscored on June 8, 1984. A tornado watch was posted for all of southern Wisconsin. Most people in the small town of Barneveld treated the stormy night like any other.
It was really windy all day. And I remember sitting in the living room talking to Mom, watching TV, and saying that we're really going to get a storm because it's so windy. And it was just windy all day.
I never got out here during the night. We got about 3/4 of the way out here, and we met a young man from out in this area, and he said, "Don't go out there." He said, "It's all gone." And I said, "What do you mean it's all gone?" He said, "It's all gone." Well, I said, "What about the church?" He said, "It's flat."
Just before 1 a.m., a tornado roared through town. 90% of the homes were destroyed. Nearly half the 500 residents were injured. 9 died.
I had to work early the next day, so I went to bed like about 9 o'clock. And it was starting, it was windy out then. And then Laura woke me up about 9:30 and said that there was tornado watch out until, I think she said 11 or 12. So it's a big deal. We've had them before.
Michael was already in bed with us that night, and Matthew was in his bed, and both the boys shared a room. And Matt started crying and stuff because I don't know, apparently they've always been afraid of the thunder and lightning, especially in the middle of the night. So I went in and got Matthew and put him in our bed and laid him down, and then I went to the bathroom, and we had a bathroom right off of our bedroom. And before I ever got done, I could hear the houses. And stuff crashing behind us. I ran out and told Charlie to grab Michael and go to the basement, that there was a tornado coming. And I've never been in a tornado before in my whole life.
It was the loudest crash of thunder that I'd ever heard. It was kind of strange because normally in a thunderstorm, you hear the wind blowing or you hear the rain hitting against the side of the house. And all of a sudden, it was just dead quiet. It was the most sobering quiet that I had ever encountered. And then the next thing you know, there's a roar, and the roar didn't give you any time to react. I thought for sure that a jet plane was going to crash. There was a real peculiar kind of a pressure. The pressure was so great, it's almost like the house expanded and then almost came back together again. The next thing, I was knocked to the floor, and debris started flying. And of course, at that time, as soon as that happens, you think right away, tornado.
All I remember is like 2x4s snapping. It must have been as it was taking the houses behind us, because I remember 2x4s snapping, just snapped like toothpicks, you know. You could hear 2x4s snapping and glass shattering. But all I remember is running down, just running for my life is all I could do, and I couldn't, I knew she wasn't right behind me with Matthew, and I didn't think I could turn back because I had Michael with me, and to go find him or we'd all be up there, So I just ran down to the north wall, and Michael was kind of hanging around my neck, and I just kind of put him in front of me and put my elbows right up against the cement wall, and then it was over with in a few seconds. And
as soon as we stepped off the main foundation of the house, that's when it hit. That's when the door hit. That's how Matthew got killed. A bolt off the doorknob went to the back of his skull, right next to his brainstem, and killed him instantly. How I knew that he was very seriously injured and stuff was, I was leaning forward, and as soon as it was done, I leaned backwards. He kicked my legs out from underneath me and rolled on my back, and that's when he gasped for air.
When I heard my wife screaming, I made my way over to her by exiting off the back of the foundation. And her comments to me were, "I don't have any clothes to wear." And why it struck me immediately as a tornado, I don't know, because I'd never been in one before. But I simply told her, I said, "Barb, there's been a tornado and we've got to get over to the fire station." I got her off the foundation, and we started heading toward the fire station, and of course we had no shoes. And as the lightning once again lit the sky and guided my way, I looked at the fire station. I just thought, my God, the fire station's gone.
After the house was gone, I set Michael up over the cement, and we walked around and got Susan and Matt. We never, all I said to her is, "We got to get out of here. We don't know if it's coming again or what. We got to get to shelter." So we just picked them up and we started walking down the street. We had no clothes on to speak of but our underwear.